Hey everybody, welcome back to the Feature Crew. Exciting day. Grok 3 is finally here. We've been waiting for months to see what the largest AI data center in the world was able to train. And Elon Musk is claiming that this is the smartest AI on Earth, so let's put it to the test and figure out if that's true. With this release, there were multiple models, although they're all being called Grok 3, and so there is a sort of base model, which is more of a competitor for the ChatGPT, the Claude Sonnet, and then there is a thinking mode, which is more of a competitor to the O3 minis or the DeepSeeks. And so we're going to test both with all the same prompts to show the difference between the two. So let's give it a test.
Like always, we're going to start with a coding test. So this coding test that we're doing is similar to what we did for O3 Mini, plug for that video, where we want it to generate a procedurally generated planet. Immediately off the bat, you can see that on the left side, Grok 3 without thinking came back almost instantly. On the right side, we can see that it's been thinking right now for at least 20 other seconds. And it will probably continue to think. So we'll go ahead and render these, and hopefully we'll see if the thinking actually generated a better response.
Yeah, and the non-thinking version already came back, so we're going to load that up now. Okay.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, good.
All right, it scared us there for a second. There wasn't an immediate load. But this is interesting. The clouds are better than we're used to, I would say. Like,
Frankly,
usually we have to push the models to do better clouds, but other than the clouds, everything else is pretty tough. It didn't seem to have a good understanding of the various noise scales.
You can clearly see there's some kind of biome here with the green, the water.
It also didn't seem like they were varying terrain. This looks like a perfect sphere.
Unsurprising for a not thinking model. When you think about it, it's quite a long prompt. It has 8 different things we want. And we're doing that because these models are getting so good at having the context. We want it to be able to differentiate a bit. So it's missed some of those things, but kind of got on the core of it.
Sort of props I'll give to Grok is it did use a different material for the water and the land. You can see the reflections are different, so that's pretty cool. It was it got some things pretty well, some things that are impressive that we're not used to seeing, but then some things we are used to seeing it wasn't able to do. So maybe the thinking mode was able to pull those together.
So this is the thinking. Well,
thinking mode, the noise coherently varies, and is clearly different octaves of noise. But
also, is this just the clouds?
Those might be the clouds.
Do you know, can we open the console? Maybe there's an error.
Oh, those look like clouds.
Yeah, it's 2 errors.
Yeah, it's too bad that, one of the benefits that we've found of the reasoners in the past is that usually they give you a better result, but they are also just far more reliable, right? So we found that through the process of reasoning, if you train the reasoner well, then it's able to kind of self-correct and realize when there are errors. And so it's not encouraging to see this issue, even though the clouds look good. We're going to give it another shot. It's a little unfortunate. We got Grok trying to fix its error, and now we're going to give Grok 3 non-thinking.
Bit of improvement.
Yeah, improvement. So I'll say
on Grok 3, not thinking, we've asked it to improve terrain, make it look more like a real planet, have the ability to make a slider, and just add atmosphere. A lot of those were in the original prompt.
All right. So looks like Grok 3 non-thinking is back. So let's see if it was able. As a reminder, this is what it put out last time.
Give it a second.
Okay.
Still a perfect ball. Can we change any of the sliders? Okay.
Okay. So it is deforming the planet, but just again not on a reasonable scale.
Yeah. Detail level, crank that up. Terrain height. I mean, it looks like it's just making whatever that pole. Oh. If you put the terrain height to 0, it's just like water.
The actual terrain is not great. It hasn't broken anything yet, so contrary to its smarter, deeper thinking counterpart.
Very just
this is kind of disappointing. This is worse than we've gotten from other non-reasoner models. I want to see if Grok 3 thinking was able to pull something together cool, because it's not looking good right now.
Yeah. Okay, so here we are with the Grok 3 reasoner. The clouds are now it looks like they're kind of on the ocean layer, right? If they are clouds.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it that the clouds still look the best of anything we've seen.
Yeah. Somehow the modeling of the clouds is very impressive, but the clouds are very low to the actual planet surface, and the mountains are just fully going through. So it's kind of lost the idea of having an atmosphere. It's at least more planet-like.
I mean, if this was the first thing, it would have been more comparable to some of the other models, but not the reasoners.
So let's give it one more to see how well it can improve from here.
We've sent off a prompt to both sides. We're just letting Grok 3 keep going. But on the Grok 3 thinking side, which is what we're more interested in, we're asking it to revisit the parts of the prompt it missed, like the water in the atmosphere, and then to also go back in on some of the stuff that it already implemented and fix it, like the terrain, make it better, the clouds, make them render above the terrain. So we'll see how it does with this. So we'll check on Grok 3, sort of last attempt here.
Well.
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
As expected, sort of Grok 3, not so great. We're going to do the final attempt on thinking mode.
Okay.
Oh,
the noise scale has just fully...
It broke.
Yep. Bit unfortunate. You know, there's just one test, so it's not conclusive, but...
It's the best clouds we've seen, but just in terms of its ability to actually follow the prompt, stay coherent through multiple turns, this is not in the same league as an O3 Mini, and I don't even think it's matching DeepSeek levels. So we'll have to do more videos where we compare models head-to-head. For now, I don't think it's the smartest model on Earth at coding, but let's move on to our other types of reasoning and figure out how it does there. Next up is business reasoning, so we'll get that set up. And you might have seen this on the channel before when folks were trying to figure out what's better between DeepSeek and O1 and the OpenAI reasoners. We pulled together a bunch of information about all the different models, about how much they cost, about their benchmark performance. And we've been asking different models to kind of reason over all of that, write a report, including charts, write the code to generate the charts, and basically like business analysis, make a recommendation as a business analyst. What model should you use? So we'll go ahead and run this on both models.
We have a prompt set up. So for Grok 3 not reasoning, it allows you to attach. So we went ahead and just pulled out the task and attached the PDF with the 50 pages of information. On the right side with Think, it can't take attachments. So we've gone ahead and just copy pasted it, put the task at the bottom. Let's see how they do. As
we always do with these, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out the graphs that it generated, the charts that it generated as an indication, a visual indication for the viewers of its reasoning, and then we'll pull out its actual text conclusion, just so that you don't have to look at this big wall of text.
We pulled out the charts and the reasoning. So left side still Grok no think, right side is Grok with thinking. So let's do the left side first. First thing you have is cost per 11,000 token task. I guess it's just implying O1 is way more expensive here.
It's super indexing on ArcAGI, right?
Because
we gave it those results, so it's treating those ArcAGI results as like a way to measure intelligence. On both sides, they were kind of going through this cost per interaction. This is going for the ArcAGI testing, trying to estimate the cost per useful task, whereas this is just the API pricing for the models.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, actually, on the left side, that's not a bad way of estimating things. You know?
I think the one on the left is better.
Yeah.
This is just a restating
API.
Something. From the training data, whereas this one, was trying to make some statement, which is interesting to see the non-thinking version.
Actually, when we go to the next one on the left side, we're looking at the AIM performance. So both have, kind of indexed on that one as well. The non-thinking model, again, kind of removed 4.0 from the picture to kind of avoid having a really weird chart. That's almost smart in it of itself to know that that's going to make the chart look really weird. Whereas on the thinking side, again, just adds 4.0. Maybe the intention is to show how much better the other models are, but then you get this weird, like, why is this one so small and then the others have jumped up sort of thing. So again, maybe you have to give it to the non-thinking model. Grok no think gave one more chart.
We asked for projections, and
we did ask for
Grok
projections.
no think complied and added a projection chart. I don't think we're going to dive in and try to figure out how it was doing the projecting, but it is just interesting to see it, like, projecting ArcAGI performance, right? Like,
not very good. And the reason I say not very good is the context here should be when you look at how fast it's been accelerating, right? If it's saying 2025, the score is that low. 2030, you're talking about 5 years of progress. In the last 2 years, we went from 0 to like 80.
Right. So it wasn't really extrapolating.
It didn't really figure out how to project, at least to generate a chart.
So then moving on to their recommendations, they made some similar recommendations. Now, in contrast to some of the models we've looked at in the past, pretty much every one we've done on this test has proposed some sort of hybrid approach where you use R1 and O1 or O3, depending on how much reasoning intelligence you need and how sensitive cost is for your specific task. In this case, both models went out ahead and said that O3 Mini is their primary recommendation. This actually aligns more with what we would think. And then they point out the cost-effective option as 4.0 Mini. At least the thinker does. And then the secondary recommendation on the non-thinker side is R1. So
interestingly, the thinking model kind of primarily suggests OpenAI and says just explore DeepSeek, whereas a lot of other models have indexed on DeepSeek being like, wow, it's actually really good. And, like, kind of forgets about some of the like potential downsides. And then the non-think model, pretty similar. It did even go as far as saying avoid 2 models, which is kind of interesting, actually. I haven't seen that before. So they say avoid 0 and O1 for high cost relative to marginal performance again. Both have at least demonstrated some degree of thinking. The charts are Not as good as what we've seen in the past,
Mhm.
but not like a complete fail.
This is the most subjective test that we do, so we'll
Yeah.
put this up
You guys
and
can
let you all sort of weigh in the comments.
Yeah. There seems to be some flashes of almost more intelligence on the non-thinker side. So let's see if it holds in the final test. Last test, kind of a proxy for agentic reasoning. It's our famous adaptation of Tower of London, so let's get that set up.
We've got it all set up. If you've seen this test on the channel before, it's basically a test that is administered to children to test their executive function. They're presented with a bunch of pegs. In the real test, it's a varying height. In our variant, the pegs are all the same height to sort of further remove the test from what might be in training data.
Yeah.
And then on the pegs are these colored discs. Obviously, because they're stacked, you can only move the top peg at any given time. And then the goal is to, from the starting state, make one move at a time, and in the least amount of moves possible, get to the goal state. Least amount of legal moves.
Yeah, Reason is getting a lot better at this, which kind of tracks. This is trying to measure agentic or kind of like logical reasoning. So we're going to start from here and see how both models do.
We've got the prompts set up, and we'll just send them both off.
So we'll actually go through move by move, and we'll be able to check to see whether a move is not legal or not. Okay.
So its first move is orange from B to D, then red from B to C, blue from A to B, orange from D to A, blue from B to A, purple from A to D. Uh-oh, that's breaking the rules. Purple's on the bottom of the stack. It got further than I thought.
So
these sorts of novel, not in training data problems have always been hard, maybe even impossible for non-reasoners. So we were kind of expecting a failure there, and we're more excited to see what the thinking variant is able to do.
Wait. This is either mistaken sequence or need to adjust. So since Big D was empty,
Whoa!
we should... Okay, wait. So we're now just reading the prompt in real time. It said a corrected solution. Scroll down. Does it get to like 8 moves?
Oh my.
Oh, I don't know if it's still good though.
Let's check it out. Okay. Orange from B to C, red from B to D, orange from C to A, blue from A to C. Yeah, it broke again. Impressive that it recognized its mistake, but unfortunate.
Wait, going down. So it keeps realizing something is wrong. I guess this is the first time I've seen a non-reasoning model come back and be like, oopsies. One more time, I'm going to go through, see if it gets it. Why moves B to C?
It's gotten so confused.
It's gotten so confused. It's moving green twice for no reason.
It really let us on. I mean, every time I saw it correct itself, I thought it might have it. But
Me too.
We were kind of expecting that to fail, so let's see how the thinking. Let's scroll all the way down to make sure we have its final answer. Move.
8 moves is also looking good. Fewer moves.
Blue from A to C.
Yeah.
Purple from A to D. Orange from B to A. Blue from C to A.
Is good.
Red from B to C. Purple from D to C.
Yeah.
Green
from B to D. And then purple C to D. Yeah. And that gets to the final step.
Okay. So, well done, Grok, with thinking. It was able to do this 4-peg problem. This is something that the other top reasoners were also able to do, so maybe as we start to do future videos comparing them, we can push the problem even further or try different reasoning tests. But encouraging to see. It would have been really bad if it didn't get this from my vantage point.
Yeah, like this, just to be clear, this puts it at parity, and we will push them further. That was our first impressions playing around with Grok 3. Fortunately, I can't really claim it's the king of new models. I've seen a lot of hype about it. At least from our preliminary testing, it just seems not bad, but not beating, like O3 mini high and, maybe even DeepSeek. We do want to give it its fair shake, so we will be making more videos where we test Grok with other models and really give them like the exact same prompt and see how well they do. So let us know what models you want to see head-to-head with Grok. Let us know what types of tests you want to see, as always. And if you've enjoyed, follow along, subscribe to the channel, give us a like. All that really helps. Yeah, anything to add? No, that's it.
Awesome. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye-bye.